So the internet is currently ablaze with the drama between Ethan Klein and Idubbbz. Now, these guys belong to a kind of friendship network that I'm not a part of, don't know anything about. I've never watched any of their content per se, but I've seen lots of clips of them going around, and they're often part of the kind of internet social media drama sphere that kind of gets shoved into your feed. And recently there has been a massive drama between Idubbbz and Ethan Klein, where Idubbbz has tried to demolish him using one of his infamous content cop videos, which everyone finds outrageous. I'm sure in the comments they'll explain to you why. I don't know. I've never watched an Idubbbz video, never watched an Ethan Klein video. I don't care. But something has become very apparent from these interactions. And like I said, I've never been a huge Ethan Klein appreciator or anything. And in fact, he's been very strange, actually. On one hand, he can be pretty decent and a fairly chill fellow. And on the other hand, he was a rabid leftist and was quite insufferable. Now, I was introduced to him when he interviewed Jordan Peterson back in 2017. And Peterson had obviously had quite a good effect on him. And they had a really interesting conversation on their podcast. And that was the first time I had seen anything by Ethan. He seemed fairly reasonable. But after that, he started getting sort of sucked into the online leftist sphere, and he himself became incrementally more leftist, to the point where he basically threw Jordan Peterson under the bus and said, "No, you're an evil alt-right right-winger, and I don't want to have anything to do with you." It's like, okay, fair enough. And during this period, Ethan Klein, as you can see by this photo, gained a lot of weight, clearly had emotional problems of his own, clearly had self-esteem issues. And as you can see from this video here, he deleted the Jordan Peterson interview, saying he was a danger to society, among other things. So you can see that Ethan went hard to the left, and he looked like he went hard to the left. He put on loads and loads of weight. And so I thought, okay, well, Ethan's just going to be a leftist forever. But then he began a podcast with Hasan Piker. Hasan Piker being a famous brainlet who has read as far as the Communist Manifesto and no further. And this is all well and good. Ethan really is just a bit of a shitlib, right? He's not a doctrinaire leftist. And Hasan was essentially trying to bring him and his audience over to the most radical left-wing position that he could think of. Famously, he said that America deserved 9/11, and of course he advocates for Soviet-style communist revolutions all the time. So all well and good, right? However, Ethan found himself on the horns of a dilemma, because Hasan, being an insane rabid leftist and also a self-identifying Muslim, and Ethan being Jewish, well, you can see how the issue of Israel and Gaza ruined their podcast together. So the leftist podcast, Leftovers podcast, I think went for something like a year, something like that. I don't know exactly, but it went for a while, a period of time. They did it together. And like, Ethan doesn't know anything about politics in the sort of deep sense. He's not a regular follower of politics, whereas Hasan is. So Hasan got to look like the intelligent person on the podcast, even though he's not. And even though Ethan's not stupid. But the whole issue came to a head because of the October the 7th massacre. And I'm not saying that Hasan endorsed that, but he was certainly very against Israel and certainly very pro-Palestine. And this eventually destroyed their podcast, obviously. Hasan ended up leaving Leftovers, and the podcast itself ended a year ago now. And you can quite understand why. And since then, they've had a kind of internet back and forth where Hasan and Ethan will talk about each other on their various podcasts and kind of bitch and snipe and do the personality drama that people on the internet tend to do. I'm not saying that I'm blameless or something. I'm just saying this is something that happens, and I definitely try to avoid it these days. But interestingly, when Ethan Klein had thrown Jordan Peterson under the bus, Peterson gave this prophecy. And he said, "You will be held to higher and higher and soon impossible to maintain ethical standards by the very mob you currently wish to please. Then you will make a mistake and they will devour you with glee. Please take this warning seriously. I liked you." And it seems that something like this has come to pass, because concurrent to this is another friend of theirs called Idubbbz. Now, Idubbbz, again, I never watched any of his content, but through process of osmosis, I learned about Idubbbz that he used to be an edgy content creator back in the day. He used to be cool. He used to make racist jokes. He used to be funny, is what people tell me. And he decided to go woke because he ended up getting together with, I think he married, a woke woman, and she now has an OnlyFans and is an internet prostitute, which appears to be completely destroying his self-esteem. And so it appears to overcome this ritual public humiliation by his own wife, Idubbbz himself has gone woke to find ways of justifying this. And I haven't had time to watch all of this content cop, but I've watched like snippets of it as it's going around. And honestly, I can't help but I can see why the internet is like, wait a minute, this is nothing. And Ethan reacted to it live going, what am I even supposed to take from this? This, as this person says, this is the most nothing but, oh, there's someone else who said it. But there are lots of people saying this is just the most nothing burger on the internet. And in fact, what it does is it makes Ethan look normal, and Idubbbz and the sort of little gaggle of 30-something singletons who made it, and Idubbbz, look weird and like very bizarre and childish. And so this is a very interesting state of affairs, because it's always portrayed as if being woke is being mature, because a lot of woke people have deep regrets about the way that they acted prior to their road to Damascus conversion. That is, I was racist, sexist, homophobic, whatever. I made evil jokes that I've been told by online leftists are bad, and therefore I feel bad, and therefore I convert to wokeness in order to clear myself of my sins, to wash them away. And okay, well, you know what? You do what you want. And this really kind of backfires when people are like, well, people just hate on Idubbbz because he grew up and they refuse to. Oh, did he? Did he grow up? This wake up Ethan thing, come back and join our woke childish club. I mean, you can see the Bernie Sanders thing there. Does this look like growing up? Is that what this looks like? Apparently, the people in this photo are like 30. Idubbbz is clearly getting on a bit. He doesn't look like a young man, does he? And it's like, yeah, wake up, Ethan. Come and be woke again. Why? Ethan, like, again, I'm not a fan of Ethan's, but he seems to be doing better than you guys. Sorry. People hate Idubbbz because he grew up and they refuse to. Him doing some sort of Fortnite dance with an L on his head. Oh, yeah. Is this growing up? Is it? I mean, I'm surprised that Hassan wanted to be a part of something this cringe. I would have thought that Hassan had been on the internet for long enough to see this, as people point out, the brutal cringe that inevitably would be, and would have been like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that, bro. If I want to make a response to Ethan, I've got a large enough platform, I can just do it myself. But for some reason, he decided to be a part of this, and like the other guy said, it seems to have massively backfired in his face. Because the assumption is that converting to the cult of woke means that you are now officially an adult, but if you act like this, nobody actually believes you. Meanwhile, Ethan looks like this. He has cleaned himself up. He's lost a lot of weight. He's still with his wife, who is the mother of his 2 children. Like, and Ethan, you can see the Jordan Peterson prophecy. By the way, they're going to get you, and you're clearly coming out of the cult of woke here. And I'm just saying, right? Ethan has won this. Ethan has very clearly won this by just being more normal than you guys. You guys with your arrested adolescence, living as teenagers well into your 30s, and Ethan is actually just being a dad. Like, again, I'm no great lover of Ethan, but as an outsider looking at this, judging by the standard, who grew up and who refused to, I don't know, bro. You tell me. It kind of looks like Ethan is actually the person I would consider the responsible adult in the room, which in words I never thought I'd say. And you guys aren't. And in fact, you seem to be trying to hold on to your extended childhood long past the point of which it is appropriate. And I'm sorry, Ethan won this by a country mile. Like, I don't know why you thought putting this on the internet was going to own him. I really have no idea why you thought this was cool or edgy. Come on. How old are you people? Like, no one thinks that this is a slam dunk. And we know this because of the like to dislike ratio on your video. I mean, come on. No one outside of your immediate bubble of these people. No one thinks this is cool or hip or edgy. And the fact that you had to like dust off the content cop uniform in the beginning of this video, I did watch some of it, was just like, oh, we're gonna go get the belt now. We're gonna show Ethan, and it is just blown up in your faces. Like you acted like such cocksure prats. And all Ethan's done is just sat there with his wife and kids. And again, I'm not a fan of Ethan and Healer. I'm not a fan. I don't like a lot of the things he's done. I like some of the things he's done, I have to admit. You know, like the Humongous thing was pretty good. I appreciated his support of Humongous. And I like the fact that he got Dankula's channel remonetized, because he had channels to Susan Wojcicki, who has now passed on. And so he has done good things. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think that really he was a bit unserious. But compared to you guys, he seems like the very model of fatherhood. I'm just like, okay, well, again, looking at this from the outside, sorry, Ethan has demolished you, and you look like stupid, childish cringe lords. Honestly, get off the internet.